Hello, everybody. This is Alberto Kennedy, aka Grimoire. I want to discuss in this video transmutation. What is it, and how can you apply it in your life? Transmutation is the cornerstone of any type of magical work, spiritual work, mystic work. Transmutation it's imperative that you develop an understanding of it if you have any type of spiritual, magical, or occult pursuit. What is transmutation? A transmutation is a process of changing something into something else entirely. Not just transformation, but it changes something to something else, different, that doesn't even resemble what it used to be. And many people think about transmutation as one of the key processes in a pseudoscientific practice called alchemy, where they said they would change base metals into gold, right? No. That was a bastardization of its true intent. Alchemy is a spiritual discipline of the mind and of the spirit and of the body. And one of, like I said, the cornerstone of alchemy is transmutation. Transmutation, again, a process of changing something into something else entirely. What's the opposite of transmutation? To contaminate by the promotion and sustaining of impurities that result in decay. Now, interesting to note, in any and all types of magics or magical practices that are geared towards the light will involve transmutation. Any type of magic that is geared towards more destructive and evil. I know evil is a subjective term, I'm trying not to use evil, but anything in terms of black magic, corruption is its end goal. While transmutation eliminates impurities of both that which initiates the process of transmutation and that which is being transmuted, corruption is the process of introducing impurities, sustaining them, and the promotion of decay. The transmutation process is as follows. It's 4 steps actually, and it's pretty easy. Let me break it down. I tried to make it as simple as possible. The 4 steps of transmutation, the transmutation process. First step, infusion. What does that mean? Well, infusion is the introduction of a new element, quality, energy, or state of being into a pre-existing element, quality, energy, or state of being. Let me break that down further. Let's use the making of tea as an example. When you introduce tea leaves into boiling water, the flavor, minerals, and the oils of those leaves infuse the water, changing the water entirely. Let's break it down in more spiritual terms. In spiritual terms, when we enter any environment, we infuse that environment with our presence, our spiritual energy, in effect changing that environment. That's the first step of transmutation. We do this naturally without even thinking about it. The second step of transmutation, purification. Now, purification sounds like it's a convoluted step, right? Purification, oh, you have to do all this. Well, no, let me break it down. Purification, all that means is filtration. The process of separating impurities, or in terms of spiritual energy, separating polarities, elements, qualities, energies, or states of being from a thing. Let's break that down in more simplistic terms. it can get a bit heavy. Let's use the tea analogy. When tea leaves have infused the boiling water, you use a strainer or filter to prevent the leaves from going into your cup as you pour it in. Purification. You're making sure the tea that you're going to drink is purified and it doesn't have everything else that you don't need. Or in spiritual terms, when we are in an environment, we become a part of that environment. And as we do, we connect with similar or complementary personalities or energies within that environment, and we avoid or filter out those energies and personalities that we can't seem to connect with, that we don't gel with. That's the second step of transmutation, purification. The third step is distillation. That means the removal of impurities or polarities that prevent the fusion of the two or more elements, polarities, qualities, energies, or states of being transmuted. So what that basically means is, let's use the tea analogy again. Distillation is basically a reaction that happens during purification. Like when you made the tea, that which couldn't be part of the tea, water, the tea and water, fused tea, water, tea, evaporates, while the other parts of the tea leaves merged with the water, which added its flavor, its aroma, and the color. In spiritual terms, when we become part of an environment, sometimes we end up leaving when we can't connect or that we just don't gel with others there in that environment. We leave the environment. Or others leave because they can't connect or gel with us. So distillation is the removal of things that cannot be assimilated. And the final step in the transmutation process, sublimation. The process of two or more elements, polarities, qualities, energies, or states of being coalescing or merging to become a single, higher, and more refined element, polarity, quality, energy, or state of being. The example can be seen, I'm going to still use the tea analogy. Tea is a combination of the tea leaves and water, which creates something new. Both gain a new state of being while losing the parts of itself that couldn't be assimilated. Or, in spiritual terms, when you become part of an environment, you gain new associations and adapt to that environment, losing the parts of yourself that couldn't or wouldn't adapt. Your environment does the same thing. Your environment is transformed as well as it adapts to you. Losing the parts of itself that couldn't adapt to you. Incorporating transmutation into your psychic abilities, empathic abilities, and in everyday life is easy. Think about this. I bet you guys are going to tell me that, well, I can't transmute. Of course you can. Let me show you how. And you do it already. Whenever you are beset with a problem, and you overcome that problem, going through the motions, through just labor-intensive studying that problem, going through it, the turmoil, the sweat, the tears, and everything, but you surmount that problem. You solve that problem. You've just transmuted yourself in that problem because it's no longer a problem. And if you were to encounter that problem, whatever it is in your life, you would have the necessary knowledge on how to resolve it because you've already been through it. So you have changed. You are stronger. You are not the same person you were when you first encountered that problem. So on a psychological level, we transmute daily. On the emotional level, we transmute when we feel emotions, when we help each other feel. Like, for example, when someone's depressed around you and you listen to them, and all of a sudden they feel better. You've just transmuted them because you've helped them in their transmutation process. They can process and they can go on because they are no longer the same person that they were when they were first hurting with that depression. Things that we do in life are surrounded by transmutation, our transmutational energies and the transmutational energies of others. We either initiate transmutation or we are part of the transmutation process of another person who initiated it. But transmutation is going on all the time in life on the mental, spiritual, emotional, physical levels. So, how do we implement transmutation in our lives, especially if you're a psychic or an empath? Well, from my notes, uh, to implement transmutation into your psychic abilities, you need to first understand that you don't use psychic energy, you are psychic energy. You don't use or feel emotions, you are emotional energy. You are emotions. That's why you have a limitless access to psychic energy and emotional energy, because you are psychic and emotional energy. All manner of energy has a polarity. The polarity is the charge, direction, or orientation of energy, like positive, negative, or neutral. They are always subject to change. When you understand and accept unseen energies and their polarities, you you already are understanding the transmutation process. Because when we transmute energy, we do it all the time. When we are when For example, when we walk into a negative environment, we have two options. One option is to remove ourselves, or if we find ourselves in a circumstance that we cannot remove ourselves from that negative environment, then we dominate that environment. And how we do that is through transmutation. All that negative energy has access to you. But let's reverse that. Let's flip the script. You have access to all that negative energy. Now remember this about energy. Energy is energy. There's no negative or positive or neutral. Why? Because that's an intent. That's a polarity that can be stripped from energy. So let's just focus on energy. If somebody's throwing negative energy at you, shade or whatever, you have two choices. You can absorb it, purify that, let them keep the intent, let them keep the karma, let them keep all the negativity and whatnot. That's energy. That's food. I come from a school of thought where if I can't beat them, I'll eat them. And what that basically means is that if you throw negative energy my way, I will transmute it, I will absorb it, and then I'll give it right back. So you will be transmuted. That's kind of like Tai Chi. I like Tai Chi because, I don't practice, but I like the principles of it, right? Using somebody's strength against themselves. Why waste your energy when you can waste theirs? you know so these are forms of transmutation. These are all processes and disciplines and strategies, that's the word I'm looking for, uh, that employ transmutation and transmutation principles. Understanding and accepting unseen energies and polarities of yourself and others and your environment is essential. um, Let me look at my notes here. I also would ask you guys to get familiar with how you influence people. Because when you transmute something, you're influencing something. Getting familiar with how you influence people, places, and things, the effect or impact your presence has, is the fingerprint of your energy and its polarity. This is called your energy signature. Everybody has one. Affirmations and mantras are an excellent way, along with meditation, an excellent way to kickstart your transmutation abilities. it's difficult for me to call transmutation an ability when we all have it, the capacity to transmute. We all do it to varying degrees. I would urge all of you to research transmutation, study it, study its history, get familiar with it, because when you can understand what transmutation entails, you are better equipped to work it within yourself. And I hope this video helped. Let me see if I missed anything, because I don't want you guys to leave this video without knowing certain things. A meditation, affirmations, let me just touch on that real quick. Affirmations and mantras, they're powerful because they are basically programming or deprogramming your mind. Your brain or your mind, whatever, it's like a computer. You want, in order to hack into your conscious mind, what you do instinctively, you know, you have to go through your subconscious. And I call them affirmations. Some people say reaffirmations, affirmations, mantras. These are very powerful when they are basically through repetition and consistency. When you're using repetition and consistency as a tool to access and self-program or deprogram the subconscious mind. For example, an affirmation would be, I transmute the energy and entities in my environment to become one powerful power source for the good, healing, love, and success for all. Another affirmation, I like this affirmation. I transmute all negativity within me and around me into the pure, positive, healing, protective, and loving light that benefits me and others on all levels. Affirmations, mantras, chants, meditation, visualization, when you can visualize energy coming out of you or coming into you. The energies of others, when you can see other people's auras, when you focus on doing that. Many people say, well, when I visualize something, am I imagining it? Does it matter? It's visualization. That's your interpretation of the another's energy signature. Doesn't matter if you're imagining it. That's part of the process. Trust yourself. These are excellent ways of manifesting transmutation and getting intimate with your own transmutational abilities. Transmutation is key, because once you are familiar with transmutation, the process of transmutation, once you are familiar with transmutation, you will be transmuting consciously. Negativity will not be able to be around you, because you will naturally transmute it or repel it. And that's what I'm trying to give out to this world, because I like bringing light to dark places. We need this now, because there's a lot of people that are cray right now. I'm not going to go into the Trump thing. Leave that alone. But you know what I mean. Energy right now is at an all-time chaotic high. So transmutation is essential to counteract corruption on all levels. All right. Please subscribe to my channel. And if you have any questions, let me know. I'll holler. All right.